Quaid Azam, Part 349. But this, though correct in theory, is not entirely tenable in practice, which is why post-partition, this disparity as against parity, in itself became a divisive issue. V.P. Menon commented, even the safeguards and the protection demanded for their community by nationalist Muslims went so far that they Muslims would have prevented for all time the growth of a united nation. Once parity had been rejected by the Congress in a united India, it began to be apprehended that it would be rejected in practice too. That held an axiomatic extension of a reality, of course, not a legally or constitutionally enforceable point, but as the undeniable reality of the post-partition relations between India and Pakistan. Another cause that led Congress to accept partition must be noted here. It was said that the interim government did not act harmoniously and did not act as a cabinet with Nehru. Though they had only an interim government conducting himself functionally as Prime Minister, this situation was of course aggravated by Liaquat Ali Khan's rather negative term as a finance minister, for he knowingly sabotaged schemes. The interim government failed to act harmoniously, for above all else Nehru wanted to be treated as the de facto Prime Minister of a dominion, a cabinet, a claim which Muslim League seriously opposed and which His Majesty's government had never really conceded. 15 August 1947. Assuming that partition had become inevitable and had been accepted by the Congress and the Muslim League, was there then any justification whatsoever for the destructive haste with which the date of transfer of power was brought forward from June 1948 to 1st to October 1947 and then to 15 August 1947? Why did Mountbatten choose 15 August? I find the reply given by an outgoing viceroy casual, insulting. A book on Mountbatten reports him as having told its authors, "The date I chose came out of the blue. I chose it in reply to a question. I was determined to show that I was master of the whole event. When they asked, had we set a date, I knew it had to be soon. I hadn't worked it out exactly. Then I thought it had to be about August or September. And then I went to the 15th August. Why? Because it was the second anniversary of Japan's surrender." This is paralyzing in its insensitivity, the sheer horror of Mountbatten's casual untruthfulness, in how trivial his last viceroy's approach was to a grim and unprecedented tragedy. This statement cannot simply be brushed aside, as this was not on the account of any failing memory about the events that had taken place some 25 years earlier. For on 15 August 1947, as an Independence Day was being celebrated in New Delhi, Lord Mountbatten issued a broadcast to the United States of America to celebrate the second anniversary of the Allied victory over Japan. He said 2 years ago, today I had just returned from Potsdam conference and was in the Prime Minister's room in 10 Downing Street when the news of the Japanese surrender came through. Here, as I speak to you tonight in Delhi, we are celebrating an event no less momentous for the future of the world, India's Independence Day. That 15th August 1947 was the second anniversary of the surrender of Japan, could have had a personal association for Mountbatten but that was entirely extraneous and totally irrelevant to his present responsibility, which spells to transfer power with the least amount of bloodshed and misery.